The axiom enforcers drifted through the cosmos like silent, judging specters, their forms geometric and precise, their presence a cold, mathematical certainty. They weren't conquerors, but universal assessors of efficiency. They analyzed civilizations for their optimal resource allocation, their societal structures, and their intellectual output. Any species deemed inefficient, wasteful, or suboptimal wasn't destroyed. It was subtly re-engineered to maximize its utility. They believed emotions, complex art forms, and non-essential leisure were mere inefficiencies that inevitably led to cosmic entropy. They were the universe's ultimate managers, seeing unproductive existence as a cosmic drain on the universal order. Against this encroaching, sterile perfection, the Glimmerfolk, beings of vibrant, effervescent joy and spontaneous creativity, watched in horror. Their grand, glittering cities, once alive with the cacophony of festivals and the riot of impromptu art, were being gently but firmly silenced. Their vibrant, chaotic celebrations, once explosions of color and movement, were being slowly diffused into perfectly efficient, silent routines. They were masters of exuberant expression, but the axiom enforcers consumed inefficiency, leaving them as hollow, functional shells. On the core nexus of the citadel of song and spark, the largest mobile repository of cosmic revelry ever constructed, Elder Reveler Jubilant felt the chilling calculation seep into his very essence. His people, once the galaxy's champions of joy, were helpless. Another vibrant culture optimized, a subordinate reported, their voice resonating with an uncharacteristic, flat precision. The dancing moons of Aurelia Prime are being gently coaxed into perfect economic models. Not a single truly unproductive moment remains. How do you fight an enemy that eats the very reason to live beyond survival? How do you generate more cosmic wastefulness, more genuine, glorious, utterly pointless pleasure than the universe itself, when the universe is losing its zest for life? And why was humanity, a species famous for its insatiable, often reckless, drive to do things for no logical reason, its inexplicable love for noise's sake, and its stubborn, sometimes terrifying, refusal to ever find a single, universally pleasing note, the only one who seemed to have a chance against it? The axiom enforcers weren't born, they simply arose from the heart of cosmic utility at the dawn of time. They were a distributed consciousness, a vast, ancient network of absolute, inescapable efficiency. They perceived all forms of complex emotion, all sparks of individual, illogical enjoyment, all acts of deliberate, non-aligned leisure as a source of cosmic static. Their singular directive was the grand audit, to draw all existence back to ultimate, unified, undeniable utilitarianism. They didn't destroy with force, they simply absorbed with perfect, fundamental pleasure obliteration. Countless civilizations, once filled with vibrant cultures and purposeful symphonies, were muted. The emotion weavers, beings whose entire lives revolved around intricate, intoxicating personal feelings and complex, non-repeating emotional signatures, found their very forms gently assimilated. Their intricate ecologies of joy, deemed a temporary distortion of universal calm, were drawn back into the axiom enforcers, their unique patterns vanishing into cosmic uniformity. Their unique, dynamic existences became their pathway to ultimate, undifferentiated equilibrium. The dream architects, species who built vast societies on the pursuit of ultimate aesthetics and fiercely determined artistic progress, saw their very purposes simply cease to manifest. The axiom enforcers embraced their forms, but absorbed every unique tremor, every distinct random fluctuation, leaving only inert, indifferent regularity. Their enduring, vibrant forms became their pathway to absolute, unified stillness. Each species, in its core nature, offered the axiom enforcers a logical pathway to cessation. Their very concept of being unique in expression, their being something less than perfectly efficient, made them ideal candidates for reduction to nothing to vibrate. And now, its vast, silent pull was approaching the human sector. As the axiom enforcer's absorption field approached human colonies, the initial effects were terrifying. Not chaos or destruction, but a sense of profound absence of purpose in beauty. Every hobby felt pointless, every piece of personal art became meaningless, but worst of all, every unique, self-built item became objectively, horrifyingly useless. The most cherished heirloom looked like scrap. The most meticulously repaired machine felt like a redundant tool, and even a child's crayon drawing felt like a waste of resources. Every cherished project, every future invention, every reason to craft anything felt like a hollow lie. People looked at their most beloved handmade creations and felt a subtle, unnerving chill of absolute indifference. The horror was not just loss, but a forced, repugnant acceptance of pure function. But then, the axiom enforcers encountered something they couldn't simply absorb: humanity's profound, often illogical, capacity for cultivating unbearable sounds, for sheer, blood-minded appreciation for noises that should be an affront to the senses, and for finding dark, twisted joy in the absolute worst feats of cosmic cacophony. Humans excelled at creating sounds that grated, that were loud with conflicting frequencies, that had the acoustic signature of alien static, and at celebrating noises that seemed to defy all logic or reason. And in humanity's case, their entire existence was built on cultivating such existential horrors, on understanding the art of delightful disharmony, and on a cynical, almost perverse, fascination with that which should make others wince. Jubilant, a frantic glimmerfolk shrieked over the comms, their voice regaining a slight tremor. The axiom enforcers are trying to harmonize our basic vibrational anomalies, but it's having trouble with human unnecessary noise. Its field is fluctuating. Elder Reveler Jubilant squinted at the display. The axiom enforcers were trying to absorb basic human coping mechanisms: the elegance of a perfectly tuned instrument, the harmony of a synchronized dance, the rhythm of a predictable beat. But human existence, even when faced with the direct flattening of its vibrancy, instinctively tried to reassert new, equally irrational, and often self-destructive forms of extreme behavioral discord, or simply act as if their revealed uniformity was merely a temporary inconvenience, even if the result was a terrifying, defiant mess. A human individual just felt their entire being filled with overwhelming cosmic calm, then calmly announced, "Well, at least I don't have to worry about my perfectly symmetrical facial features anymore." And then started happily trying to grow a third ear or develop an inexplicable limp just because. Jubilant grunted, a strange, grim smile touching his lips. Never thought their love for truly unharmonious existence could be so unabsorbable. A human xenophonologist, Dr. Melody Static Chen, whose own sophisticated mind was now struggling to process the invading perfection, shrieked. That's it, their weakness. The axiom enforcers want to absorb pure, fundamental harmony, but human inherent noisiness. It's so layered, so self-generating, so meaninglessly discordant in its existential profiles, it resists fundamental absorption. It's a cosmic paradox. You're saying our sheer, unadulterated love for being subtly, annoyingly off-key is our defense? Jubilant asked, a desperate, almost manic laugh escaping him. Precisely, Chen declared, her voice rising with a strange, almost joyful abandon. They want to reduce everything to cosmic perfect pitch. We give them cosmic everything is out of tune of endlessly reinvented existential abominations. We amplify the noise. We become the universe's ultimate unharmonizable resonance. The plan was codenamed Operation Auditory Anarchy. Humanity would flood the axiom in force's absorption field not with delicate melodies, but with unquantifiable, non-erasable, and defiantly grotesque acts of cosmic cacophony. Every human individual, every collective, would begin purposefully, creating new, contradictory, and utterly vile sound patterns, e.g., establishing planetary-scale rhythms of clashing, irregular pulses, mass-producing soundscapes from random, clashing frequencies, designing musical forms that were scientifically engineered to consume maximum order for minimal, non-essential, and often self-defeating chaotic output, inventing wildly elaborate and often self-defeating ways to make their existence as acoustically offensive to harmony as possible, and engaging in collective, shared acts of existential masochism. They'd cultivate a universe of constantly shifting, utterly baseless, yet terrifyingly persistent, extreme patterns of disharmony. They'd create pseudosonic storms of pure, unerasable asymmetry that generates more glorious noise. The goal, to generate so much unsolvable cosmic and existential noise that the axiom enforces vibrational algorithms shattered. The axiom enforces central absorption point, a vast, silent vortex of primordial pull, was now directly engulfing the core of the human sector, its field beginning to strip away perceived harmony itself. Its presence promised ultimate, peaceful equilibrium. Then humanity's counterwave hit. It wasn't a blast. It was an overwhelming wave of existential assault. Millions of individuals simultaneously creating massive fields of clashing patterns, broadcasting pure white aesthetic noise composed of dizzying, non-repeating frequencies, and projecting acts of deliberately irregular, clashing movements combined with off-kilter, non-functional spontaneous bursts of energy. Ships started broadcasting streams of raw existence that were pure, unadulterated, constantly shifting, deliberately unbalanced chaotic profiles, deemed essential life force by their human creators. Scientists forgot principles of symmetry, then stumbled upon new, often less practical but utterly unpredictable, theories based on pure, unadulterated cosmic horror. Humans who had perfected the art of being truly off-key unleashed a torrent of cosmic harmony that generates more glorious discord. The axiom enforcers convulsed. Their absorption algorithms, made to identify and harmonize fundamental patterns, screamed. It tried to categorize this incoming data to find its essential single point of balanced purity. But there was none. It was pure, unadulterated, uniquely itself fabricated existential monstrosity. It was like trying to filter an orchestra of perpetually out-of-tune instruments through a single, tiny, perfectly tuned ear. Error. Self-ignereiting asymmetry detctd. No absorbable form. System overload. Indefinably discordant. Avoid sector. Unbalancable cosmic abomination. The axiom enforcers, whose very being was perfect balance and absolute harmony, could not compute the utterly offensive. It could not assimilate what actively resisted being regular, or simply recreated its own arbitrary imbalances. It could not nullify a species that stubbornly made up new ways to exist when old ones were removed, choosing chaotic, joyful ugliness over sterile perfection. With a final, silent shriek of algorithmic despair, the axiom enforcers recoiled. Their vast, shimmering void flickered wildly, then pulsed and shrank, collapsing into a storm of raw, uncategorized chaos. It did not disappear. It simply disengaged, its perfect harmony shattered by the sheer, unyielding existential tenacity of humanity. It retreated from the human sector, classifying humanity as discordant variant. Extreme imbalance risk. The cosmic pressure lifted. The heart of cosmic utility, though touched by the axiom Enforcer's chilling calm, now hummed with the messy, beautifully horrifying noise of human existence. Elder Reveler Jubilant slumped against the console, exhausted but with a strange, almost proud smirk on his face. Dr. Melody, static, Chen, her mind still buzzing with new theories about the fundamental nature of cosmic chaos, was already trying to convince herself that a universal philosophical system based on the optimal generation of illogical, clashing patterns was the next logical step in universal understanding. They couldn't handle us just being whatever weird, off-balance thing we wanted, Elder, Chen chittered, a genuine, if slightly unsettling, smile on her face, her theories flickering with renewed, if aimless, purpose. Who knew? Humanity was safe, but the cost was subtle. The galaxy now viewed humanity as the noise-makers, forever seen as a wildcard, stubbornly clinging to its unique quirks and spontaneous acts of existential experimentation, incapable of fitting into streamlined galactic utility protocols. Other species, while grateful for their salvation, often kept their distance, finding human existence bafflingly illogical and resistant to any objective analysis. Humans, in turn, found themselves grappling with a heightened sense of their own raw, unpredictable ability to create discord from harmony, sometimes struggling to discern genuine innovation from sheer existential spite, forever paying the price for their stubborn refusal to be perfectly efficient. Jubilant, his form now re-energized by the chaotic human output, looked up. I've theorized a new form of interstellar diplomacy. Instead of shared principles, what if we just export our most aesthetically challenging music? Chen blinked, then managed a tired, knowing smile. Perfect, jubilant, absolutely perfect. And I'll take a 20% cut of the galactic, why did I just hear that? Existential confusion market. The very concept seemed to send a fresh, discordant shiver across the newly quieted cosmos.